So, very good evening, gentlemen and ladies. After a very mesmerizing presentation by Kalapi, followed by Dr. Naik, Architect Naik, now is my time to give a purely technical presentation, that too without any PPT. I will try to wind it up and I will try my best efforts to explain you how the plumbing hacks or the plumbing problems related to pool can be solved. So, let us first start with what actually covers the plumbing systems, or what you can say, plumbing systems for the swimming pool. When we talk about plumbing system, it means it covers the piping part, the piping system. The second is the filtration system. The third is the disinfection system. And the fourth is heating system. Previously, if you see, the pools were very simple, and it was a typical pool. But nowadays, people are exploring. The ideas are coming. Innovative ideas are coming from the architects and everybody, like a pool with a jacuzzi, a pool with a spa, a pool with a sitting inside it, and so many ideas are coming. So let us start with the problems. What are the problems that come when you are doing a pool, or how the troubleshooting should be done. So when we start talking about the troubleshooting, let us start with how an installation has to be done properly, so that you don't get into trouble, or you get into minimum trouble. So first of all, I will start with the piping system. So the piping system, when you talk about the piping system of a pool, I have invariably seen that people don't size the pipe properly. It is like, chalo pool banana hai to 50 mm ka pipe dalna hai, and then you give the nozzles and the matter is over. But that is the wrong way. What happens is, all the results, what you see after the pool starts working, you start suffering because of all these problems. You don't design it properly, so the velocities go on a higher side. The settled material which settles, the mud which settles or the dirt which settles gets disturbed, and the pool cannot be vacuum suctioned properly. So the first and the foremost part is the pipe size should be properly designed to handle the pressure and the flows. The pressure and the flow. The flow will definitely vary as per the size of the pool, the capacity or the volume of the water which is there inside the pool. So the first thing is, size the pipe properly. If you don't size the pipe properly, you are going to get in trouble. So after that, when we talk about the pipes, invariably it happens that the pool is designed first, and then suddenly people start the landscape and the houses planned, and the pump room or the back end utilities, which actually back of the wall utilities, which actually are very, very important for the aesthetic part to function properly. You see a nice pool, clean water, beautiful tiles, but why they are beautiful and why the pool is clean is because of the back of the wall system. And invariably I have seen what happens is, when it comes to a consultant or a service consultant like me, there is no space properly derived for us to have a plant room or to have a balancing tank. And then we have to carve out spaces in such a way that a person who has to do a daily operation and maintenance finds it difficult to access. So the first thing is, give proper place for the maintenance person to access and operate. If you don't give proper place, what happens is, he neglects going to the room and maintaining it. That reflects on your pool water quality, that reflects on your experience in the pool. So the second thing is, do a good plant room, technically sized, have a good tank, balancing tank. The second thing, whatever I am speaking is just out of experience, out of my 25 years experience, and we have done so many pools. So the second thing which happens is, sometimes somebody builds a balancing tank, the sizing is not done properly. He fits into the place wherever, whatever place is left over after his landscape and the house, he gives that place, he builds in that place, or he says, isme hi bithana hai. So if that balancing tank size is not done properly, again you get into trouble, because the pool has evaporation losses of varying from roughly 2 to 3% of the pool volume. Of course, it may vary depending upon the surface area, but averagely it goes from 2 to 3 to 4%, and the area where it is located. The second important part is leaks. Now the tank is built, the pool is built, but there are no puddles, no pipes placed in it. What happens is, you build a tank and then afterwards a plumber or the pool fitter comes, he drills the holes in your pool, he drills the holes in your tank, fixes it, but then the holes, the pipe connections and the concrete connection, pipe connections with the concrete, they are not homogeneous. They don't become 100% leak proof. Though the waterproofing is done, but definitely when two different materials are gelled at a different, not properly gelled, then what happens is, over a period, the tank starts leaking or the pool starts leaking. I have seen at many places that because of improper installation, the pools had to be discarded, and they were converted into flower beds. The bottom nozzle pipe, which actually pushes the filtered water into the pool, you have to have a proper channel at the bottom, a proper space, because the pipe should be accommodated, the waterproofing should be accommodated, and then the nozzle has to be accommodated. What happens is, the shortcut is applied while laying the raft, the pipe is embedded inside the raft itself in many cases. The result, again, while casting the raft, sometimes the pipes get damaged, and then you don't have any option but to break. Secondly, the structural integrity, because you are cutting down into the volume of the raft actually. And normally in pools, if you see, in older days people used to use copper tubings and everything like that. Now it's all polymer ka zamana hai. So polymer pipes, any pipe, whatever you use, the pipe will not hold on to the concrete that perfectly. The expansion contraction rate varies, and then there is a crack and the pool start leaking over a period. And a small leak encourages or is a start of a bigger leak in future. So please see that you provide proper channels and proper spaces for the pipeline. Otherwise, your pool is going to short leak. So this is the second thing which I feel should be taken care. The third part, the plant room is at one location, the pool is at one location, and then you take the pipes from the pool to the plant room and connect it to your filtration system. The pipe is many times deep, 1.2 meters, 1.5 meters deep into the landscape area or the open space. If that pipe is not supported properly, mind it, it is going to give up. It is going to give up. And invariably what is done, chalo bhai jaldi hai, फटाफट खत्म करना है, वो पाइप पीवीसी का पाइप है, फटाफट डाल देता है. डालने के बाद में what happens, after the pipe is laid, then you start doing soling, compaction, and if the properly laid, the pipe is not laid properly, supported properly, what actually has to be done is, if you lay a pipe, you have to have centers, proper concrete supports at 1.5 meters, center to center, then fill that trench at least 300 mm above the pipe top with a soft or a soft murum, what you can say, or fine sand, so that whenever you backfill the portion, the stones don't get into the pipe and break the pipe. So this is a common mistake, and this invariably happens that you lay the pipe, everything is done, and before the inauguration, when you start filling the pipe and operating the system, you don't know where the water is going. No other way but to repent. So this is one thing which you really need to take care. This is as far as the pipe laying and pipe installation and pipe gelling is concerned. again, no afterthoughts. Nowadays, previously, as I said, the pools were really very, very simple. Now every other person wants a heated pool. And the heating thought comes after the pool is finished to a level. नहीं, अभी तो heat करना है boss. But the pipe inside is a UPVC pipe which cannot handle the temperature. And this is totally forgotten that you don't have a pipe which is not capable, which you have a pipe which is not capable of handling the temperatures. The heat pump is built, the heat pump is installed, and after 2 years or a year or so, or 2 to 3 years, because normally in India, being an equatorial country, people hardly heat the water except Simla, Kulu, Manali and such areas. They heat the water only for 1 or maximum say 2 months, not more than that. So after 2 years, the complaint comes. Pool is leaking, the water, we don't know where the water is going, because the pipes, joints have given up, because they are not meant for handling the temperatures. The temperatures have to be proper. The heat pump selection has to be proper. If you install a regular heat pump or a regular heating system, which can, with a temperature setting, one of my clients said, boss, we will heat the water at 65-degree temperature so that fatafat mera pool garam ho jayega. I said it will be very dangerous if it is not taken care. So mind it, international standards, as per international standards or FINA standards, the temperature in the pool should not be above 28 degrees, 25 to 28. Actually, to be very frank, I suggest many clients that it should not even go to 28. See what is the lowest ambient temperature in your area, and delta T of 5 is more than sufficient. क्योंकि आप जब वैसे भी जाते हो पानी में तो पानी गर्म ही होता है. आप बाहर अगर ठंड है तो आप पानी में जाते हो तो आफ्टर 2 or 3 minutes you start feeling कि yes, it is warm inside. Any season with normal water also will do. So the important thing is selection of pipe has to be proper. Otherwise, if the pipes are not selected properly, the system is bound to fail, the pumps are going to be leaking. Now, from pipes, we shift to filtration systems, which is again a very important system. So filtration systems, there are n number of technologies. The filters, if you see, sand filters are there, which are very, very commonly used. You can see some sand filters even maybe here, displayed here. So sand filters are very common. Then you have cartridge filters. Then you have a diatomaceous earth filter. So there are different technologies for the filters and different advantages and disadvantages. But as far as our country goes, and as far as rather the pool industry goes, the most common and the most cost-effective, maintenance point of view effective filtration system is the sand filter. So sand filtration system also has to be designed and selected in a proper way. What is the pressure of your pump? What is the flow of your pump? If the pressure and flow of the pump, according to that you have to select the diameter of the, or the capacity or the size of the filter. Invariably, 1 lakh liter का pool है, 600 का लगेगा, 750 का लगेगा. This is a way things are done. But if your turnover time of the pool is 4 hours, then your pool filtration system has to be bigger. Filter has to be bigger. The pump has to be bigger, or the flow rate of the pump has to be bigger, and this has to be done in that manner only. If you don't do it, the system will not function properly, and invariably then you see in the housing societies or where it is a public place, the pools are not maintained, because if you don't take care, yesterday also I said, the water is like an infant child. You have to care about it very sensibly. If you don't care, it is going to start crying. If you still don't care, then it will fall sick. And if it falls sick, then it takes whole of the house, it disturbs whole of the house. So the important thing is the filtration system, again, as I said, has to be properly selected and installed. Proper flow, correct. One important thing again in the operation and maintenance part is, invariably a very nice pool is built, but the operator or the people who are going to operate are not trained. A very, very religious advice to all pool users or pool designers, please have a good space for pasting a do's and don'ts in the plant room or a proper place. Normally what happens I have seen is a watchman or a mali or somebody like that is assigned a job to clean the pool and to maintain the pool. He doesn't know how to operate the system. If he knows, because of his illiteracy, he may make mistakes. So it is a very nice advice to, it is very nice thing if you can put do's and don'ts in the local language, train that fellow who is going to take care properly, and even if he is not there, if the do's and don'ts are in local language with signages and everything like that, there is absolutely no chance that he can make mistake, because he has to just follow the step one by one. The do's and don'ts has to be pasted at a proper place. See, the psyche of the worker has to be understood. If you don't create an atmosphere which encourages him to do the maintenance, then he is bound to neglect and the system is bound to fail. So a proper ladder has to go. Some people say यार एक manual देते हैं उसमें से उतर जाएगा. अभी वो बंदा क्यों उतरेगा यार? वो रोज का उसको जाना है. He will open that manual cover and then on ladder he has to go down. Sometimes accidents may happen. So give a proper stairway, proper headroom, so that he is comfortable getting down, he is comfortable maintaining. The do's and don'ts have to be there so that you don't come into trouble. So there is no you don't have to go to troubleshooting only. This is as far as I am talking about the filters. Now the important part, one more important part, is disinfection of the systems. Disinfection is again a very important criteria, and as yesterday told, there are different types of chemicals. Normally somebody was asking yesterday why chlorine EQ, chlorine ka smell aata hai. Somebody was mentioning chlorine smells and stings. Actually, chlorine does not sting that much. If you dose the pool with extra chlorine, then only it will sting. Otherwise, it will not sting, it will dissipate properly. But there are there are 7 different chemicals which we can use. The chlorine, which is very, very common, can come in liquid form, granules form, and even gaseous forms. The gas, normally the gas chlorine is used for public pools, but nowadays we are using ozonator, ionizer, which reduces the capacity of the chlorine that has to be inserted into the pool, because excessive chlorine or excessive use of the chlorine TCCA, which is a high concentrated chlorine granules or powder form, if it is used, you will start having irritation in your skin. Sometimes if you go in a public pool, you will see that आपको irritation होती है, आँखों में जलन होती है. The reason is there is excessive chlorine in the pool, one, and the second is either there is excessive, or the second is the chemicals combination, the chemicals which you are using are not proper, and that is why you are getting irritation. My advice to all of the pool users is use hair cap and goggles. Always use hair cap and goggles whenever you enter into the pool. If you have a pool, please see that you have a some sort of cupboard where you have n number of headgears and that goggles, so that anybody can use. See, what happens is even if a smaller deviation is there, then you start itching, and then it gives a bad name to the pool or to the system. So this has to be done. Very simple thing. I have never seen a chlorine puddle for cleaning your legs. Before entering your pool, normally what we do, we have a pre-pool bath. But your legs are touching the soil. So there is a bacteria there is a bacterial presence at the foot of your foot, which if it is not cleaned, and if you enter the pool, then the pool will not be very stable, because the bacteria goes into the water and then they multiply. Of course, then whenever there is a little bit of change in the combination of the chemicals, the pool starts crying. So a big thing, when you plan a pool, you have to have a puddle of foot wash where you have chlorine water which is stagnated there. So whenever you enter the pool, like you take a bath, you go into that puddle, wash your feet, it's just dip your feet because chlorine, it automatically disinfects, and then enter the pool. Your pool will not have any trouble at all. So just to run through the disinfection chemicals, one is chlorine, one is ozonator, UV also, some people use UV, though I have not, I don't have a very good experience about UV. Ionizers are there, bromine is one chemical which is used, hydrogen peroxide is used, though hydrogen peroxide, handling hydrogen peroxide is a little challenge. It has to be handled carefully, but it can be used. Then nowadays people build natural pools where the natural plants and everything is used to filter the water of the pools. The pool is extended in a way that the water flows from the pool into the natural pond, and then from the natural plants and sandbed filters that water, and then it is circulated again to the pools. So these are different types of disinfection methods maybe you can use. This is all about the disinfection system. The last and the newest thing is heating system. As I have already mentioned, there are different types of heating systems. You may use solar, where the solar water heater itself can be used. In Europe, you will see that they have roll-on solar water heaters. It's of PP, polypropylene material. You just can spread it on your terrace or roof and connect inlet and outlet water. It is very easy to install, and then you start getting hot water. Of course, to be very frank, in equatorial country like India, we really need very less energy comparative to the outer countries for heating the water. But whatever, if you heat the water, then use solar technology, either use solar water heater, or the second thing which you can do is you can generate electricity by using photovoltaic cells, which can be used to heat the water, so that you don't encourage the use of fossil fuels to be burned. Then you have heat pumps, as I said, then you have gas heaters, but the best way is the heat pumps. And the best system is primary system to be a solar water heating system, and the secondary system has to be the heat pump system. So your maximum heating is done by the solar water heater, and very minimal heat which is required other than the solar, the water can be heated by the heat pump. So this is one thing which you can definitely try and do it. So as far as the pool troubleshooting is concerned, or pool care do's and don'ts are concerned, this is what I have to say. If you have any questions, you are welcome, please. Thank you. Yes, Kanika.
So, yeah. Truly an insightful presentation. That is, on the spot, I say, hats off to you. Very well done. So, couple of questions coming your way. One is, you mentioned about the puddle pool to dip your foot before, entering the pool. Very interesting. But I've never heard of this. I have stayed at Marriott. I have stayed at Alila in Goa. But where was the puddle pool? So why, how? I mean, we've never heard of this. So this is one. Second is, who's the pool inspector? Which are the pool authorities? We don't have any concept like this in India, a pool inspector. So why aren't the pool inspectors looking at this, that there is no puddle to dip our feet or XYZ? That's your second one. Should we take it one by one?
Please.
Or should I?
So, as far as the pool inspector is concerned, or there is no other department as such which inspects and licenses the pool users or the pool manufacturers. The only authority which is the authority having jurisdiction is the local corporation. I would advise.
Corporation is so busy with so many things.
But you have to. I am just protecting the. I am just protecting the user. The reason is, many times what happened, this is my experience, the house was built, after the completion was received, afterthought and they built the pool after 1 or 2 years. It was not approved. Unfortunately, the maid servant's small child, he dipped and he passed away.
Oh.
It was so agonizing for the owner because it was illegal. The pool was illegal. See what happens, we really don't think like that. कि यार pool का क्या sanction लेना है? Pool तो है, water body बनाते हैं, कहाँ sanction लेते? I would advise whenever you do a water body, put it on the paper. Whenever you do a pool, put it on the paper, get it sanctioned so it is approved, and so at least you are saved from that hassle. This is one thing. Secondly, pool inspector, even though you don't have pool inspector, normally what happens is for pools below 4.5 feet, it is a international norm. You don't need to have a lifeguard person there around the pool. But above 4.5, you need a lifeguard. So as much as possible, if you really are not interested in diving and sort of activities, then limit your pool to 1.2 meter depth, which is very comfortable for swimmers and non-swimmers also. One thing. Okay, still if you want a pool which is having more, which needs to be a diving pool, or you want it to be a more deep, then you should have a lifeguard. And lifeguard also, if you religiously want a lifeguard, I don't know whether you have seen, the lifeguard chair is the chair like that tennis referee chair. It has to be 2 meters height from the deck. Otherwise, what happens? He sits on the deck. Nothing is visible to him, and whenever he notices that there is an accident, it may be late. It happens. So he has to be in attention like a referee 2 meters above from the deck. So automatically he doesn't sleep. First thing, and secondly, it is the complete arena is visible to him. So this is the thing.
So I have more battery of questions for you.
Please.
Okay, so when you mentioned this bacha falling and passing out, there's a real life incident I know when a pool was dewatered. Matlab it was
dewatered.
It was the cleaning. Yeah, it was drained. Correct. What he said. So it was drained, and what happened is at night the guy couldn't see that he thought obviously there is pani hai. He went to the pool and he jumped, and he's crippled for his life now. Poor guy doesn't have his feet. Matlab, he has limbs. So what do we do as professionals to avoid this? Because this guy is really a billionaire, and unfortunately, I don't want to take his name, but known to me very closely. But what do you do for these kind of incidences wherein these are all 5-star and 7-star, and these things are happening, and very unfortunate for him. So what do we have to do as, we have to, apprise the guys that when you're doing this weekly, or how many days you have to do this cleaning bit?
See.
No, but how often do you have to drain?
Pools.
So what can we do about this?
Pools are never drained.
So this is wrong?
No, just listen. Pools need not to be drained. Why? The reason is because you are refreshing the water daily. I have done pools long back in 10-12 years. The same water is there. Only you have to replenish the evaporation losses or the losses which are due to the backwash. That much of water has to be drained. But people do empty the pool just because of psych. अरे वो कुत्ता हमारा कुत्ता swimming करके गया है. He must have littered into it. No, it is unhealthy. So, some typical thoughts.
So what do you do when they empty the pools?
So
there's a cover?
There is nothing very high-tech into it. You really need to barricade that area. And if it is a public area, please see that no boozed person comes in the night. Normally public, in the night, these people make this mistake, and this happens.
Okay, great. So, but this guy was sane, unfortunate for him.
I'm not.
But yeah,
I was general.
Anyway, so at what stage does a plumbing consultant should come in? So many people don't get the plumbing consultant at the blueprint stage. So what's the stage according to you? The last stage you can enter.
Last stage is
blueprint.
Last stage is a different story altogether. But I think if you really want to employ a professional consultant, then it should be from the inception.
So blueprint
there is no
stage.
Blueprint stage.
Okay, what about, you mentioned about leakage, so why aren't we doing pressure testing like we do pressure testing? Why can't we do pressure testing so before all this gymnastics happen on the opening day, we already know?
Yes. Pressure testing is mandatory. It is always done. But what happens is, after the pressure testing and the tiling is done, you have to fit the nozzles. And the nozzles, which are pressure inlet water nozzles, they cannot be sealed for pressure testing. Whenever you lay the pipe, you do pressure testing, it is sanctioned, certified, whatever it is the process, and then the plumbing is okay. So then starts the filling work. The filling is done improperly, the pipe is damaged after the testing is done. So this is a problem. And unfortunately, before commissioning, because we have to fit the nozzles, you can't just test it.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, and which are the best pump companies in India? Can you give us some names, best in India? हमारा भारत महान टाइप्स में क्या है सबसे अच्छा?
See, to be very frank, there are many, all companies have pool pumps. All companies have pumps. There are some pumps which are displayed here by our partner, Aqua Advantage. They have the pool pumps. But other than that, you can have different modules, regular pumps, regular pump manufacturing companies, Kirloskar, Crompton, and all these companies have the pool pumps. The advantage of this pool pump, specifically when you have a pool pump or a spa pump, it should not have a cast iron body or a metal body. The reason, or the impeller should not be metal. The reason is, what happens is, if I use the spa today and if I use the spa after 15 days, water in that pump is stagnated, in the pump housing is stagnated. When that water gets stagnated, because it remains there, pump housing as the water, always there is a water in that. So what happens is, that water gets corroded or that water gets dirty because of the continuous contact with the cast iron body. And normally the pump's inside body, cast iron bodies or MS castings and everything, they are not that super finely finished because it is the interior of that. So what happens is that water gets muddy, and whenever you start the pump, you get some brownish water or something like that, or the impure water comes. So the best part is, you should have, there are polymer pumps, different types of polymer pumps, which have even the impellers and the internals also plastic, which come into contact with the water. Or you can have stainless steel 316 housing and impeller pumps, so that the water remains intact.
One second, I'm coming to you.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How often we should take plumbing maintenance in the building or any other structures? Example, as you rightly told, you explained us the installation part. We are happy with that. How often we should take up the maintenance part? Like once in 5 years or once in 6 years?
See,
what is the timeline?
If it is pool part, if you are talking specifically of pool.
No, I am generally speaking about the plumbing as well as the sanitary part in the buildings.
Sanitary part in the buildings. It has to be periodic, but the period has to be decided upon the frequency of the use. See, try to understand. If I am building a theater, the use is very heavy. So it is better you inspect it weekly or monthly. If it is a private home, you can definitely go for a quarterly inspection. Normally you should also clean your overhead tanks. I don't know, many people don't clean the overhead water tanks. So your tank should be cleaned quarterly.
Quarterly we should keep.
Quarterly, underground tanks, overhead water tanks, because what happens is, because the water is stagnated, and sometimes even the municipal corporation water has some impurities which come and which get stagnated and settled.
Is there any standard for this, like ISI or?
Tank cleaning, there is no standard as such.
Okay.
But there are agencies who can do this work efficiently. They use fumigation and everything like that. Every city must be having. They fumigate it, they empty it, fumigate it with disinfectant, and then they it can be used.
What do you suggest for this building? How we should take up the maintenance of the plumbing part of this stadium?
Stadium, yes. Very nice. Firstly, if you ask me, the toilets nowadays have to be very, very sophisticated, water saving, hygienic. First of all, the installation have to be as per the codes. We don't install as per the codes. They are not hygienic. There are many things which are not allowed by the codes. Anyways, whatever has happened has happened.
That part, I agree with you.
Now,
How to go about now?
Now, you have to do, actually when this type of establishment is there, it has to be a twice a day or thrice a day inspection. You have the cleaner who cleans, then he has to check the flush, yes, flush chal raha hai, the sensor tap is working, nobody has pasted a chewing gum on the sensor. This is in public places, we have some notorious people, they use the chewing gum and jo ye rehta hai, sensor taps, uske upar chipka dete hai, to it doesn't sense. So it has to be 3 times checking in a day when it is establishment like this. So that you don't waste water, you have an efficient system. All the diseases, transmittable diseases, mind it, 70% of the transmittable diseases are transmitted through water, or the water is the reason, either improper plumbing or impure water or insufficient water. What
is the life of the plumbing system which the materials are available now in the market?
50 years minimum.
50 years minimum.
Everything is converted into polymer, and polymer does not degrade. Previously we used to use GI pipes before this.
Yeah.
The GI used to get corroded, but now there are very nice polymer pipes manufactured by n number of companies, and you can, just read the brochure or the booklet first for the characteristics. What is the purpose of use has to be seen. If you want to have hot water, you have to go for a pipe which can sustain that temperature. If you have to, now polymer pipes are used for even firefighting. So the sprinkler pipes are there where the polymer material is used. So you can go for that also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Milind, there was a question yesterday that was addressed to you about, about the pool being 4.5 feet constantly, which you said you don't need a slope for it.
No, I did not say like that. It can be 4.5 feet. It is a minimal slope, which is 1 inches or 2 inches or 3 inches, because water will go to the lowest level. So you really don't need to give that big a slope. When you mean to say slope is one end 3 feet and the other end 5 feet, or 2 feet and then 7 feet. I'm not talking about that. A plain pool with minimum slope, so that the water, when it is to be drained, if it is required, it can be drained easily. That is the reason.
Okay. The question was directed to you with the international standards of depth that have to be maintained.
See, competition pools are designed differently. Half marathon pools are designed differently. Full marathon pools are designed differently. Olympic pools are designed differently. This is a leisure pool which we are talking about. आपके घर में है, hotel में है. Why to go for a deeper pool in places where it is not needed? Of course, if you want to dive, if it is a competition pool, if you want to dive, then diving heights also, the depth varies depending on the diving board height also. If the diving board height is 1 meter, the pool depth has to be different. The front clearance has to be different. If it is 3 meter, then the pool depth and the front clearance has to be different. Hope I am in a proper direction. Thank you.
Sir, how about the filtration turnover time? What is the ideal turnover time we should have in a swimming pool?
For spa, maximum 1 hour. For private pools, it can be 4 to 6 hours. For public pools, it has to be more faster. See, why do we filter? Because we anticipate that the water will get polluted. It is polluted because of the use. Now in public pools, you will see that at a time 50 people, 40 people will take a bath. And what pollutes is sometimes a little bit of urine, what you say, sweat, saliva, and all these things, they always pollute the water. So more the load, faster the purification, shorter the purification time. For private pools, you can do once a day, 4 to 6 hours is sufficient.
We require more filtration in summers and less filtration in winters.
No.
Because the water in winters, the sun is not shining so high, the algae is not forming very quickly. In summers, it is we find that algae is coming very fast, so we have to go more time filtration. maybe 6 hours or 7 hours.
Nah, nothing like. See, we are equatorial country. Even in winter seasons, you will get proper sunlight unless few areas if you talk about. Otherwise, you get.
Like in our area in Rajasthan, when winters are, it is extremely cold. So maybe 2-3 days, if we are not running the filter, also the pool water is ideal. There is no problem. But in summers, sometimes you have to run. It is designed for 4 hours. Sometimes you have to run 6 hours also, 8 hours also, because the sunlight is too heavy and we have to get it cleaned because algae is forming very fast.
Ideally, I would suggest you should scrub once in 2 to 3 days and filter the water daily, irrespective of use or irrespective of the season. Filter the water daily.
And how about vacuuming daily or?
Vacuuming, personal pools need not to be vacuumed daily. We don't. It need not. If you can, it is nothing bad in that. But 2 to 3 after vacuuming after 2 to 3 days is good enough. If it is a private pool, if it is a covered pool, I have some clients where the covered pools are vacuumed once in a week because पूरा cover है. मट्टी आने का सवाल नहीं है, bird droppings का सवाल नहीं है, leaves falling का सवाल नहीं है. ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं. Why the water gets deteriorated? Garden में है. पत्ते गिरते हैं, धूल आती है, मिट्टी आती है, बर्ड ड्रॉपिंग्स उसमें आते हैं, तो उसकी वजह से पानी खराब होता है. सो दैट इज नॉट द केस व्हेन इट इज कवर्ड पूल. सो इट इज केस टू केस बेसिस.
And one more thing I wanted to ask, how about the safety of the draining of the pools when the pools are drained, or maybe sometimes we have heard about the law in the US, it is about the anti-vortex. One girl, she got entrapped in that and she got died, and his mother, she took this to the court, and then they made a law for the anti-vortex systems to be maintained in US, but those are not maintained in India and nobody is taking care of that. It's very important thing we should know. All the architects, they should make it compulsory to go for the anti-vortex drains.
Very true, very true. First of all, draining a pool, connecting the drainage of a pool, drain of a pool to the sewer system or stormwater system is incorrect. What happens is the stormwater systems or even the sewer systems are not designed to take the load. When you drain a pool, it is like 1 lakh liters of water coming out within half an hour or an hour. So never connect. Secondly, connecting it to drainage lines is very, very dangerous because cross contamination may happen.
We generally do it through the filtration pump only.
Because if you don't get the invert levels, the better way is to go through the filtration. You can connect it to stormwater also, that is not a problem. But then you have to control the drain valve in such a manner that it will drain for a day. I always advise my users, my clients, that they should not drain the pool at all. See, if you want to drain it like that, if you want to evacuate it, you take 3 to 4 days, you use that water for garden irrigation and everything like that. Why to waste and drain it into the drain?
But it is chlorine contaminated water, not good to
so
use.
gardening, what is the harm in gardening? It can. आप 3 दिन उसको खड़ा रखोगे तो क्लोरीन पूरा डिसिपेट हो जाता है. 2 दिन के बाद में क्लोरीन तो डिसिपेट हो जाएगा धूप से, इसकी वजह से. सो इट बिकम्स अ वाटर विच इज एक्चुअली गुड फॉर द प्लांट्स. सो यू शुड प्लांट वाटर द प्लांट्स विद दैट.
Thank you.
Yes, we got some more questions.
Sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay, you rightly said that the sand filter system is the most time-tested one, which is very, very reliable. I agree on that. But we are also aware that the sand filter system gives 30 microns clarity. Okay. So, out of the recently, of late, last 20 years, I've done pools. And now 50% of my pools, I'm using active membrane filter systems. Okay, active membrane filter system gives about 5 microns clarity, but the only thing is that that particular membrane has to come from Germany, the right one. The other is coming from China and all are not at all good. So there is a general narrative that this doesn't work because most of them are using the substandard active membranes. Okay, so and also the space utility part of the active membrane filter system is great. So I think the architects should promote active membrane filter system as well.
We have to advise the architects. We have to make them aware They are not the specialist in this. So we have to educate them, we have to make them aware, and then they will use. If you are, you make them aware, you tell these advantages, they will use. Active membranes is a good system. There is no problem absolutely in that system. Only the thing is, because the pores are small, it blocks quite frequently. And you need a trained person to maintain that. That is why normally people don't.
I think you are mentioning about the what you call the cartridge filter. The membrane filter is a little different, where it's not ideal for a very dirty pool, but once it's clean, maintaining it with the active membrane filter system is exceptionally great.
I am with you. I am with you.
Thank you,
should,
sir.
You should.
And
you should.
we manufacture active membrane filter systems and trying to promote it in Goa.
Okay, okay. So wish you all the best.
Sure, can do that. Oh, sure.
Wish you all the best. Wish you all the best.
My question is, generally people, they always have some scarcity about space. So they say, चलो हम लोग skimmer लगा देते हैं, and overflow pool generally होते कि balancing tank लगती है. So particularly which pool you can say the base pool as a part of overflow or skimmer?
Skimmer or?
Overflow.
See, it is
Greetings.
nothing like that. There are different solutions. One solution is just behind you. Just behind you, you have a solution provider. So there are different ways of purification. It depends upon site-to-site condition, depends upon the client, depends upon the space availability. You can choose anything. All the filtration system works fine. If you don't have space for balancing tank and pumps, then you can use this in full filters also, which can be installed, but then they look so site specific. It can be changed.
Yeah, I have one. Anybody's asking? No. Okay, so I have one last question, which is, see, internationally when we travel, we're going to America, we're going to Singapore, we're going to London and all these places. All of them are very strict about their malls, sanitation and survey and, the inspectors, like compliances. Like you said, India में mall में वो chewing gum डाल देते हैं सेंसर में. So India में हम लोग क्यों, हमारे इंस्पेक्टर्स गायब क्यों हो जाते हैं? जैसे पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर्स गायब हो जाते हैं, जजेस गायब हो जाते हैं, तो ये भी कोई इंस्पेक्टर्स होते नहीं है जो they keep some checks need to be there, no, from time to time. So can we do as a fraternity? We should be able to have a voice also, right?
Very true. Very true.
Plumbing association.
We should see the best way is, I'll just share the experience, maybe not related to particularly chewing gum. We do many projects. In one of the township, what happened is the people, it was odd 2,000 flats township. 700 odd flats were occupied. And the water consumption was like 1,500 flats. And still they were not getting water. So they were making a mockery of the builder, harassing him कि पानी कम पड़ रहा है, it is your responsibility, we don't know, whatever you do. So I said, boss, ऐसे तो नहीं होगा. We did a survey and I explained them that there is a wastage of or leakages in water which needs to be taken care. So वो झगड़ा चालू हो गया. So I said, झगड़ो मत. Give me 2 or 3 Sundays. I will take awareness lectures there. You have to provide samosas or something like that, some snacks and some activities, something like that. I went there. We declared a competition. There were n number of buildings. So water champion was a competition. Whoever uses less water will be the water champion of that month. And then how to segregate the solid waste. That society since then is working so nicely that it's a township, it's a big township, it's a city in its own. It's working very fine. So proper monitoring meters to monitor now you have e-meters. You can just sit here and monitor the water consumption of any building from anywhere. So this can be done, and in the similar fashion, if we encourage the people, we educate the people, people do it. People do it. You don't find this type of mischief at airport. The reason is there is an attendant standing. Anyways.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Milind SHETE, the chairman for the Indian Plumbing Association. Please stay back on stage for a moment. We'd like to invite Kanika Baba, please come and join us. And also our architects, Kalabuch, sir, please come up and join us on stage again too. Architect Pratap Naik, who gave us a speech earlier on. And of course, Architect Prashant Chafikar, we'd like to have you come and join us too. We're going to have a great photograph. We'd like to call upon the CMD for Trinity World, Sri Joseph Dias, to please come and join in, well, for the exquisite photograph. We'd like to recognize the presence of a stalwart of a different country that has come to India here. His Eminence Yawo Edem Akpemaro. Well, please forgive me for that. Well, it's a tongue twister. Well, he's in charge of the affairs of the Embassy of Togo Republic. We'd like to have you come up on stage, sir, and join Sri Joseph Dias, the CMD for Trinity World. Well, these two stalwart gentlemen are going to present the awards that we have today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is day 2 of the Mahagoa World Expo 2023 year. It's the Awards Summit Expo 2023 that we're having over the yesteryears, so many years. In fact, we've broken 3 Guinness Book of World Records at this very venue here at the Dr. Shyama Mukherjee Prasad Stadium. We haven't continued this year, but we're going to do that very, very soon. And our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant, was here yesterday to inaugurate the function. Today we had the Honorable Union Minister for State for Tourism, Ports and Shipping and Waterways. And now we have our very own Reverend. What's his name? We're going to give awards for excellence in the fraternity of hospitality. Yes. The Best of India Business Awards presented to, for special display and presentation, Regan Kitchen Specialty Foods. We also have a set of awards for the Best of India Business Awards for special display and presentation at the Mega Goa World Expo Summit Awards here at the Dr. Shyama Mukherjee Prasad Stadium. Madhu Sudan Healthcare. Madhu Sudan Healthcare. Well, on a magnanimous Saturday, we've got, yes, Madhu Sudan. Well, I tell you, they've got a great story, Madhu Sudan. Emancipating healthcare coming in from them. Also from the textile-rich industry. The Best of India Awards goes out to the contribution to the purchase and procurement profession. Swinky Kumari. Swinky Kumari. Congratulations to you, Swinky. In the same fraternity, I'm going to continue with the awards given away to the next of our counterparts. Pool, Bath and Spa, the Best of India Awards 2023 also goes out to the contribution to the purchase of procurement profession. L. Subba Iyer coming up next. We'd also like to invite another one of our award recipients this lovely evening, Sarfaraz Sheikh. Well, another feather in the cap here for one more of our award recipients. Please welcome on stage with a thunderous round of applause, Niranjan Dabola. Well, he's a very familiar face with us, Niranjan. Congratulations once again. From the same fraternity, the same award recipients for procurement, profession and purchase, Narayan Jena. We'd also like to invite our next award-winning recipient, Gabriel Da Costa, contribution to the purchase and procurement profession. Yes, the hospitality fraternity, can we have you all come in? Well, I tell you, being from the procurement department myself, once upon a time in the admin, you know, we usually take a full car of gifts home back during Diwali. Well, the best people for you to be connected with the Goan hospitality industry here, the procurement department. We call it the purchase department, for some of you if you don't know. They're all right here. Thank you very much and congratulations to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, the charge d'affaires, it's a French word for the Embassy of the Togo Republic. And we'd like to present a love of our and token of appreciation to Yabo Edem Akpe Mado. Thank you for visiting our country, India. Well, it's always been collateral, bilateral ties between countries. And of course, India is always very open, led right from the front by our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, with the MSME project that he has for business entrepreneurs. And it's now time for us to have a stiff, very strong cup of tea or coffee. Thank you very much.